Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is going to be what if Naruto was full Uzumaki, the redo, I guess. So, pause real quick. So in this one, Minato is going to be Uzumaki, and yes, I usually don't condone this, but I can probably make it a way that it happens. Minato and Kushina are both brought forward as like potential Jinchuriki for the Nine-Tailed Fox, but eventually, well, Danzo is actually able to sway the elders, having Minato to marry Kushina as their full Uzumaki. Because eventually, Kushina is chosen, but eventually Minato had mastered, due to him not being able to have the Nine-Tails power, he's like, well, I need to get a leg up on Kushina now. So, we're kind of like rivals. So, he needed a leg up on Kushina, and his parents happen to have scrolls of every Uzumaki jutsu, like the mind's eye of Kagura, being the healing bite thing, the chains. They're able to do all of that. So yeah, pause. So Minato basically mastered all jutsu known to the Uzumaki clan, including most seals. But eventually Konoha, well, not Konoha, Danzo and the elders, when they realize how strong Minato is, outside of Konoha, Minato kind of gained the title of the Red Devil of Konoha, or the Red Flash. And Minato basically just killed thousands of shinobi over and over and over again, killing over 1,000 shinobi from each village. There's, well, basically all villages now have a thing, like you can't attack these people. So yeah. But with this, more or less, Minato would, well, he marries Kushina under the elders forcing him to, and they also forced to have a child, being Naruto. When Naruto is born, eventually, it did take a long time for him to be born. Pause. But we basically just move on to see Naruto, who is born. Minato fights the Nine-Tails, and using every bit of ability he has. Well, first things first, Minato basically given a scroll to Kakashi about Uzumaki Jutsu, and does tell Kakashi that most likely in the future, if he cannot contain, or we gave it to this before Kushina, before Kushina went to labor, he gave Kakashi the scroll like an hour or two before she had to be prepped for giving birth. So Kakashi, that if somehow the Nine-Tails escapes, this scroll should be passed on to Naruto, and Naruto should learn from it. Kakashi would not take the scroll, and Minato said the only people that could open the scroll would be him, Minato, well, it would be Kakashi, Minato, Kushina, just those three people. So with that, Kakashi would nod and leave the scroll, and we basically just see, well, Minato fight against the Nine-Tails still. Minato's able to sustain it with his own fucking Uzumaki chains. But Kushina eventually actually does die from the Nine-Tails. Minato does push the Nine-Tails so far back. He's got pushing it back farther and farther and farther and farther. And with that, this actually led to Kushina actually dying just through her body being not destroyed, but being with the Nine-Tails for so long and actually being drained of chakra and seriously injured under stress. So many things led to her dying. But Minato was able to get the Nine-Tails back in Konoha where Naruto was and seal the Nine-Tails inside Naruto. And he used every ounce of his chakra to seal away fully. And Minato's put in the Hidden Leaf Hospital and dies from chakra exhaustion. So he did not die from the Reaper or anything. He literally just drained too much chakra and died from it. So just too much chakra taking out of his body at once. But we can go on to see Naruto being 4 years old. He moves into his own apartment, and eventually when Naruto actually enters the academy, after around a month, this is she leaves. Well, first off, let me check something real quick just to make sure. So Konoha wouldn't really be able to block off all of Naruto's chakra, barely even half of it. I don't even think he could block off half of it. And I'm gonna go over one thing that's very important. Naruto is half Uzumaki. We have Kushina, who could most likely have way more chakra than Naruto, due to her actually being a full Uzumaki. But I'd say she probably didn't, because she couldn't control it at all. She could control her chakra, that's it, but not her full power. And then we go on to basically just see Karin, who's an experimental Orochimaru, but still, we don't see any noticeable changes outside of her abilities at all, unless the healing bite thing is just an Orochimaru exclusive. But I'd honestly say that, well, plus Karin actually would have more chakra than Naruto, due to the fact that she's able to restore Tsunade to full health, restore her 100 healings, and she's able to get Tsunade to basically be able to go back together. And she healed Sasuke over and over again. She was able to basically survive a Chidori Spear to the heart. She was able to survive a lot of things with her Uzumaki DNA. This Naruto being a full Uzumaki and being the reincarnation of Ashura. So full Uzumaki, full Kurama, full reincarnation of Ashura. That is 3 things that'll push Naruto should be having probably the most chakra out of anyone alive currently. And Naruto's chakra reserves are so high, he's in the full Psyche K, that it's not that they can't sense him. He's just so much chakra you can't sense it in a certain area. You have to be like super far back to even be able to sense a certain amount of it. But we're pushed to go on to basically see Naruto, who ends up just first off, he finds the scroll in his house one day. He wonders what it is, but it's full of jutsu. And Minato does know that Naruto should not really know who his parents are, just considering if Naruto is like Kushina in any way. He may blabber about who his father is. So he just says, Naruto, I'm a fellow Uzumaki like you, and I instructed someone to give you the scroll when you've unlocked your chakra, or supposedly should have unlocked your chakra. You haven't, there's steps in here to unlock your chakra, and steps in here to use Uzumaki Jutsu. Naruto is very happy about this, that he could be able to control his chakra. And he takes the scroll, and after the academy, he runs home, grabs the scroll, runs out, and trains all day and all night on chakra control. Comes to the academy class, was clothes are tattered and worn, but he still proves to be very, very, very formidable in class. And that scroll even had a bit of like basic taijutsu, genjutsu, like the basics of a lot of things that would be taught in the academy. It's just that, not in the academy, but more or less taught to basic genin. So some of it you learn in the academy, some of it you don't. So, yeah. But with this, we go on and just see Naruto, who ends up back in the academy. And, yeah. So, Naruto eventually would learn from the scrolls. And by the time he's 10 years old, he's able to use Mind's Eye of Kagura. And he's able to basically just, he wouldn't know about Healing Bite just yet. I don't think he would. So, I'd honestly say one thing he would know is probably just the Mind's Eye of Kagura. And be able to use at least 2 chains. So, yeah. And eventually he had entered his mindscape when he's able to use 2 chains. And sent them flying through the cage into Kurama's chest. And just keeps doing it over and over and over again until Kurama's fully restrained. So Naruto actually has a constant chakra drain of just making sure Kurama doesn't interfere with his body whatsoever. But is occasionally checking in on the fox, and he actually is a very kind to most forest creatures. That's where he trains, and actually does ask Kurama like random questions: are the chains too tight, or should I loosen them up? So yeah, just like random questions that show his concern for the fox. But with this, we get to see just Naruto, who just, yes, trains. But he mainly trains and studies occasionally. But we move on and just see Naruto. I guess we go into him becoming a genin. So when he becomes a genin, he's pretty low in the class though, because he's not that smart. But it doesn't need to be a class clown, because he actually scores pretty high, and literally everything else just not intelligence. That's where he scores the lowest. He doesn't score the bottom of the class, but he scores pretty low. Below average, but not above average. So, I guess the next thing we go on to is probably just the Team 7 being formed. When Team 7 was formed, they had the roof. Kakashi would ask the team, like, hey, what are you guys' goals? And, like, we kind of give the same everything, but Naruto's likes also consist of training. When he says that, everyone is like, okay, that explains it. And then everyone else's things are the same, just Sakura also hates Naruto, because Naruto does still have a crush on her. It is just that, she knows, I don't think he had a crush on her, because he's somewhat intelligent. I think he'd say there's no use in Sakura. So, I think that I don't think he likes Sakura. I think Sakura would hate Naruto for the fact that he's stronger than Sasuke in literally every category besides intelligence. And at least actually a lot of people hating Naruto, except for Shikamaru, Choji, Shino, Hinata, and Kiba. Just those select people don't hate Naruto. But yes, I guess it'd just be Sakura, Sasuke, and Ino that hate Naruto. Just those guys. That's really it. But yeah, we just move on and just go And, well, Ted seems like someone who would hate Naruto for being stronger than Neji, which he is. He's currently the strongest Genin in Konoha by far. Yeah, but we move on, and it's the bell test. And when the bell test starts, Naruto still doesn't run away because the Mizuki incident went the same way. It's just Iruka wasn't hurt. Naruto has a decent enough physical ability to actually help Iruka get away. And well, they bring the scroll back to Hiruzen, and while avoiding while avoiding Mizuki. But as they avoid Mizuki, they reach Konoha, and they turn the scroll in. And everyone starts to attack Naruto, but Naruto's able to basically fool everyone. Not fool everyone, but Iruka was able to confirm that it was Mizuki who transformed into Naruto to steal the scroll. And Mizuki had just basically hit it and then lied. So, yeah. We brought Naruto to the area to kill him, so it'd be good to frame Naruto. That Hiruzen gets the scroll, and doesn't know that's just Iruka trying to cover Naruto in eyes of Shinobi. Hiruzen probably knows everything. Iruka knows this. But yeah. So with this, also Naruto had learned a lot more jutsu from the Scroll of Healing. He knows about Shaolin Jutsu, multi-Shaolin Jutsu, and one jutsu that's quite his eye is the Rasengan. He read the details about it, and able to somewhat form, not a big ball of chakra, but a very, very tiny one. He's not, he just didn't really have enough time to practice with it, so he didn't know how to do it. He didn't perform any of the steps to lead to doing Rasengan. But yeah. So, I guess we can go on to, just, So I guess we can go on to Naruto and Team 7 against Kakashi again. So Naruto already knowing about multi-Shaolin Jutsu, well, he sends out, multiple clones. These multiple clones is basically just Kakashi, and he sends, hundreds. When Kakashi sees this, he's like, oh, that's a lot of clones. We think that they're just illusions, so that they actually be going blow for blow with him. As they go blow for blow with him, we basically see Naruto who just jumps at him, and he doesn't know it's real Naruto. He kind of just tries to hit it once with it in his chest. So as Naruto's hitting in the chest with Kakashi, Naruto's ability isn't too bad. Well, yes, his durability wasn't too bad and didn't really hurt him. But Naruto, with his durability to kind of take the hit, was able to wrap his arm around Kakashi and to squeeze it as hard as possible. With superior physical ability, not superior, but with the same physical ability, more clones are still left, and they just grab Kakashi by his legs and by one of his arms. Naruto yelled Sasuke and Sakura, he yelled explosive kunai. Now, he yelled explosive kunai. So Sakura jumps in the air, throwing all explosive kunai as possible, and, Naruto had basically let go, but then, as he jumped away, let out another 100 clones. Then he's able to escape into the waters, everything explodes, and they go see rubble, and they don't see a body, they just see, burnt bark, is the best way to say it. Kakashi had sighed, saying that if Naruto hadn't grabbed the real him, he would have for sure died. Good thing he was weary of Naruto, because he doesn't know that Naruto uses the scroll. So we go on to see Naruto and the team, who still searches for Kakashi, but Naruto actually begins to try to use his sensory ability, and when he actually said he can sense Kakashi where he is, Sasuke doubts Naruto can do that, because Naruto doesn't seem to be really smart. He doubted that Naruto was smart enough to use sensory ability. So Naruto actually began using it, and pointed out where Kakashi was. Kakashi was actually really close by and heard Naruto say that. And Naruto even sensed that Kakashi, is he sensing it? He doesn't say it out loud, but Kakashi can see a look of pity on Naruto's face. With Naruto being able to sense it, Kakashi, I assume he would know about Mantai Kagura, and when he actually hears that, when he sees it, so Naruto is able to sense the emotion deep down in Kakashi, even probably beyond that with the help of the Nine Tails. Naruto basically sensed the deep pain of Kakashi, the past, the present, and the current. Well, I know, the past and the current. I messed up the way I said it, my bad. So, you sense the past and the current pain that Kakashi feels. And Naruto had basically just said that Kakashi is a very lonely and sad man. Not lonely, but very sad one. So, yeah. With that, Naruto will just proceed to basically tell everyone that he'll handle this himself. Well, they seem to be on guard. So yeah. So that Naruto would proceed to make the symbol for clones, and had yelled multi-shell clone jutsu. That he sends out, well, a little over 8,000 clones. He has enough chakra for that. Like, when we found Misaki, he sent like 4,000 clones, I believe. This Naruto's a lot stronger than that, and has a lot more chakra than that. Almost, actually, a little bit more than double that amount of chakra. So I'd honestly say, I would be surprised if he can do 8,000 clones. Because that being close to the forest, and Kakashi's being bombarded by this. Everyone in the forest is extremely fast, strong. They can use bits of water release that are learning how to do that. So, what information about the Uzumaki that Naruto's able to learn is water release was kind of like a pinnacle for it. So yeah. So while water release was something that Naruto is kind of learning to do, he only knew like one or two jutsu of it. With these one or two jutsu of water release, well, how do I say it? With these one or two jutsu of water release, Naruto's basically able to, basically overwhelm Kakashi immensely. And eventually, Sasuke took advantage of this, snatching one of the bells. And when he snatched one of the bells, well, Naruto had basically made the clones push Kakashi a certain direction, in his direction that Sakura was going. Naruto himself had used the water jutsu that he had recently learned. It was water prison jutsu. If he was going to learn jutsu, it was going to be a deadly one. Naruto's still pretty stupid and does know that this jutsu doesn't take up too much chakra, but takes up a lot of chakra control. It takes a lot of it. So, Naruto used it on Kakashi. He couldn't use it for long because it was just so unstable, Kakashi being superior, being a lot stronger than him. Enough that the jutsu, Sakura had basically snatched the bell out of the air. Kakashi had then said the team passes, and they had already passed when Naruto had yelled for Sakura to use explosive tags. All person was in the wrong was Sasuke. Sasuke was smart to wait to see if it would work the first time, though. And then he just wanted one of them to actually get the bells. So, yeah. With that, they get to eat their lunch. And then says that asked Naruto why he actually wanted to help his team instead of getting his own bell. He could have gotten his own bell pretty easily. And Naruto had said that he knows he could have gotten the bell easier. He wanted to get to know the way his team fights, and he didn't get to see much from Sakura. Didn't get to see much from Sasuke. Well, does know that Sakura actually takes good opportunities and does know when to take them. That shows why she's one of the smartest in the class. And for the first time, Sakura actually shows somewhat of an interest in Naruto. Like, he's a very kind person, but also somewhat strategically smart. Strategically, nothing more. He's an idiot outside of strategy, or not strategy, but battle IQ. So yeah. But we go on to see Naruto, who ends up going on to basically just so I guess we can go on to like I guess the next arc that would be important would probably just be 2 months training, but there's no sign of those 2 months in the anime. So the important thing would probably just be the Land Waves mission. The Land Waves mission, we just see Naruto, who ends up just, well, first off, from the Demon Lord's attack would be the big difference, that's it. Plus Naruto's actually a bit bigger than canon. Well, not a bit, a lot bigger. But he's he's still bigger than Sasuke, not still, he's bigger than Sasuke in this one. But Naruto more or less on the mission, well, Tazo actually does ask, like, Kakashi, is his team any strong since they're kids? And Kakashi does say that Naruto's an Uzumaki. Because Naruto hasn't said his name, but Tazo then hears Uzumaki, sees the red hair, he's like, oh, aren't they like an extinct clan? And, well, Kakashi doesn't say extinct, but they're very... They're very low in population. So there's not 9, but he only gets probably like 3-4 members in total of the clan worldwide. And that's counting Naruto. That's his estimation, even though there's 9 of them, so, yeah. Well, there's 9 counting Naruto. So with this, we go on, and you see the Demon Brothers attack. When they attack, Sasuke is able to take down one clone, was able to take down one person, and Naruto proceeds to drop the other, pretty easily at that. When he drops this one brother, what he does is basically just send out a chain to his chest. With that, he would jump, grabbing him by the neck, and then proceed to hold him in place and begin choking him out. He's just surely that physically strong that it's not impossible, it's really hard for a Chunin to outmatch him. By the time he does outmatch him, Naruto had beaten him. So with this, we move on and go over to basically just, I guess, the Zabuza fight would be the next thing. So I'm saying I guess a lot. It's late for me and I'm tired, so it's kind of just making me forget a few things about the Naruto arcs, just to make sure I get them in order. We go on to the Zabuza fight. They get to land away because I halfway through land away's trip. You see Zabuza throw a blade at them. But Naruto just said he'll get it, and he basically shot out a chain that hit the blade in half. Not in half, actually, just into pieces. With that, Zabuza actually felt enraged, grabbing the hilt of his blade, using what shards are left, and throws them right at Naruto. Like he kind of slashed the air, and they got sent flying at Naruto. A few of them hit Naruto in the arm, but quickly they're shot right at Naruto's body, and he heals on impact. Not on impact, but the moment they follow his arm, they heal. That's actually just, he has a natural healing factor to being Uzumaki, but also the Naruto Shinchuriki and Rikishin Rashura. He has a healing factor a little bit superior to Tsunade, and Hashirama, a little bit superior to that. And he's 12. So, yeah. That he begins fighting, fighting against Zabuza with Taijutsu, but fails, not miserably, but doesn't do the best. So yeah, Zabuza eventually kicks Naruto away, deeming him pretty powerful for being a Genin. And Naruto sends out just chains at him. Kakashi begins fighting Zabuza, and Naruto had sensed out right where Haku was, because Naruto isn't really too keen on sentry right now, because, well, still Naruto. When he eventually sensed where Haku was, he pointed it out, and when he pointed out to Kakashi, Kakashi's like, alright, can you and Sasuke take him? And Naruto said if he goes all out, no. So if Haku goes all out, he cannot take him. But Haku seems to be pretty gentle, so it won't be impossible, but it'll be hard. This, Naruto sent a chain right towards Haku, and Haku barely dodged it, coming out of the forest, dashing at Naruto. He's like, alright, you found me, it's kind of useful, and I can use this now. He wasn't able to hear the conversation they were having. Sasuke knew Haku was coming, and was honestly just hiding like right in a bush, or near a bush, near Tsunade. And Haku's like, I'll be past this kid and get to Tsunade. Well, at the moment Haku came near Tsunade, kunai plunged right in his shoulder. Or, not all the way, but like a type of a kunai plunged in, he's able to just dash to the side, then kick right in the air as fast as possible. The moment Haku had done that, the moment like Haku had kicked Sasuke right in the face, well, Sasuke just said, now. Naruto jumped right over Sasuke, grabbing Haku's mask, and slamming his head right into the ground as hard as possible. And does it over and over and over again. And Naruto, in terms of speed, I did not put him at rivaling Haku, but if he just uses chakra to infuse his speed, to increase his speed, he's able to somewhat... He has superior control over most things when it comes to chakra. He's able to just dash and slam his head in the ground over and over and over again, almost coming close to Haku's speed. By the time he's done, Haku passed out, and Naruto dropped him. With that, what Naruto had done after that is more or less just like Zabuza versus Kakashi. And Naruto actually held a kunai to Haku's neck, saying, I'll offer you a trade, Kakashi for whoever this is. And Haku basically said, Master Zabuza, there's no need to give up the mission for me, just do it. And Naruto should be kind of digging, Haku could tell that Naruto's hesitant, but Naruto began pushing his own kunai into the wound that Sasuke created. It is obviously Haku's in pain. Haku doesn't want to yell or scream in pain, but he's kind of grunting slowly because it just hurts. Zabuza eventually gives in to his own morality, throwing Kakashi over to Naruto, and Naruto basically throwing Haku right over Zabuza. Well, Zabuza got Haku, Naruto appeared right behind him, kicking him in the neck. Not hard, but just enough to knock him out. Zabuza hit the ground, hit his knees unconscious, and the moment Haku had not gained consciousness, but the moment Haku was able to, look up at Zabuza, he's punched right in the face by Naruto, being knocked out. Kakashi had smirked, saying, good job, Naruto. And Naruto, you could have killed him at any time. Why didn't you do it? Naruto said that Haku and Zabuza are both good people. It's just they want to do their job right, so they're willing to abandon that. and he's someone who doesn't want to kill good people, but he'll kill someone in case. He'll kill someone if they deserve it. These two don't. Then Naruto tied ropes around Zabuza and Haku and dragged them both away. Naruto dragged Haku away because he's the fastest one, being able to somewhat keep up with Haku, somewhat. And then Zabuza is basically just dragged away by Sasuke and a few hundred Naruto clones. But yeah, notice that they get to Tasuna's house. Zabuza and Haku are detained in a prison in the hidden, not in the hidden, but in the Land of Waves. When they're detained, well, they're detained, and Naruto eventually pause. So we move on to Naruto, who just ends up, well, kind of just watching over Zabuza and Haku. And Zabuza actually does question why Haku's being descended to and not just left alone. And Naruto explains he does not kill good people. Zabuza questions, so you would have killed me, not Haku? And Naruto says, no, I left you alive because you actually were, the moment I actually offered up Haku, you were worried about Haku. You weren't worried about Kakashi or yourself. Haku was your main focus. Zabuza can't really deny anything, so he does actually admit it. Naruto just smiled at the two, saying that Zabuza thinks Haku is his own child, that's why he does this. And Zabuza admits he thinks that Haku is his own child. Haku can't help but smile and actually kind of mumble to himself that Zabuza is like a father to him. So yeah. But with this, we go on, and you see Naruto, who ends up, well, I guess fighting off the bandits would be the main purpose he's serving. Also, Kakashi told Naruto how the blade can be repaired because Naruto felt bad about breaking it. When Naruto realized all he had to do was basically just bleed all over the blade, he gathered pieces in like a puzzle, but then just stabbed a kunai right through his hand, concerning everyone. And Zabuza basically watched Naruto do this, with the kind of pulled out his hand and blood pours all the pieces of the blade. Well, the blade comes together immediately. And Naruto's wound began healing slowly after I watched it heal. And Naruto said the wound should be good in around 5 minutes. And Kakashi asked Naruto how he knew, and Naruto's hand was suddenly covered in a reddish aura, and Naruto said, "Now make that 5 seconds." And with that, he was able to basically just heal his wound immediately. Kakashi kind of chuckled, and just kind of said himself in his head, "You're already that far along with his power." As I said this before, Naruto's only able to use 2 chains of the chakra, only 2 chains of his Uzumaki chains. So in these 2 chains, well, occasionally he'll tighten the chains to drain the chakra of the 9 tails, but he barely does that ever. It's rare he does that. He's done it twice in his whole life, and he's 12, so yeah. And twice is counting this one time. So he's done it once before this, and that was just a test. But eventually the chains on the knives were loosened when Naruto's hand was healed, and that allows Kurama a bit more movement. When Naruto defeats all the bandits, Zabuza and Haku are let go. Well, they're let go on one condition. They have 2 options: go with Team 7, or serve the Land of Waves. Zabuza had looked at people targeting the Land of Waves and said, most likely after the Gato incident and with the bridge being built, no one would ever destroy it again. So now he actually opts that he should go with the Hidden Leaf team. And Naruto agrees with this, saying, "Alright, sure, if you want, you guys can come." And I thought they had the Hidden Leaf. Zabuza and Haku give up all the information they can on the Hidden Mist. So yeah. Now that that's given up, well, yeah, I don't know what to say after that. Pause real quick. So, we see Naruto go, well, not Naruto, but Zabuza and Haku give all the information they can on the Hidden Mist, and Ibiki asks why they're doing it so willingly, or Haku doesn't really give any information to Zabuza, but Haku stays with Zabuza instead of being put in prison. Zabuza basically says that he's doing this because he detests what the Hidden Mist had been doing. So with this, we just see the Hidden Leaf let them go, on the condition they live near Naruto. So, yeah. Now we should go on to see just the 2 weeks play out before the Chunin exams. And in these 2 weeks, well, Naruto just trains and able to get himself up to the three chains, and he can use them as like either healing chains or attack chains. It took him for the first week to do the third chain, the next week to use all bits of the sealing abilities. So yeah. And Naruto himself actually began like kind of just being able to get accustomed to sealing jutsu himself. And Kakashi didn't know that Naruto has a lack of water style jutsu. So Naruto actually began learning a bit of releases from Kakashi, if you jutsu. Now with this we go on and just see, first off, he hunters Gaara. When Gaara actually means like kind of like flexing his bloodlust or trying to actually just scare Naruto. Naruto isn't really too scared and tells Gaara his name is Naruto Uzumaki. He's the wielder of the nine-tailed fox, and that Gaara's weak-ass one-tails does not scare him. Everyone hears that Naruto just said that he's the wielder of the nine-tails in Turkey. He's the wielder of the nine-tails, and that Gaara's weak-ass one-tails doesn't scare him. I mean, Shaku's like, you can't be that impressive, you brat. Since it's out Naruto and realizes that Naruto, his chakra is beating most tailed beasts 1 through 5. I think at this point he may be like 13 at the oldest. At this point he's like 13 at the oldest. So it means that Shaku's kind of nervous, and he's just able to influence Gaara to just let it slide and go. And Gaara's like, tell me your name, and Naruto's like, Naruto Uzumaki, I just said that. Naruto's like, I just wanted something another time so I can remember it. Then he tells his siblings to back off, and Sasuke and Naruto leave. Naruto pointed out Sasuke was hiding in the tree next to Gaara, so, yeah. That he leaves and tells Konohamaru, or not tells, but he's going to teach Konohamaru a certain technique he had learned. He's going to teach Konohamaru, an ability that's very hard to learn, but Naruto learned it just through experimentation. Naruto when he began learning about chakra, found about chakra points, and found out overloading them in a certain way can kill someone, or amp their power. And Naruto had actually used it to hunt animals when he was training in the forest. He basically just hit an animal, but with a very soft punch, but then shoot chakra through every bit of its body, killing it. And it doesn't injure the animal in any way besides just making it have all this energy and basically every ounce of stamina, energy, durability, all that's taken out of his body. So yeah, it's just basically more or less a mental and physical drain on his body. That's about it, and to the point where it kills them. And Naruto actually does say it's more humane than stabbing it or shooting it with an arrow to the head. So yeah. So with this, we go on to see Naruto actually teach Konohamaru about chakra points, and Naruto just sends chakra into a log, and the log explodes. He teaches Konohamaru how to do this for a few hours, so they have to go to Chunin exam area. And when they go to the area, yeah. So with this, they go on, and they go to the Chunin exams. Now, Rock Lee goes to attack Naruto. When Rock Lee goes to attack Naruto, he only goes to attack Naruto for the fact that Naruto scored the highest in everything besides intelligence. I'll check something real quick. So, yeah, Rock Lee attacks Naruto, Naruto actually being the best in everything except intelligence, and Rock Lee can actually relate to that. Well, Naruto actually kind of, he's not comparing to Sasuke in Taijutsu, so comparing to Sasuke in that regard. But Rock Lee went for the punch, and Naruto immediately is able to grab it. Naruto's body is actually very advanced. I'd compare him to Rock Lee in terms of everything besides speed. That's about it. He's not speed. You're comparing to Rock Lee in everything besides strength. He's actually pretty damn fast. And in 2 weeks he trained with Haku for a bit. So, yeah. With that, Naruto would just proceed to attack Rock Lee. And Rock Lee actually amazed by Naruto's speed and power. And Rock Lee actually does admit he was holding back against Neji constantly, so he didn't go all out. But Rock Lee actually does yell to Naruto. Naruto makes him want to take off his weights. And Naruto then said, wait till I go all out with my speed. Rock Lee's eyes widened, but my guy immediately stepped in front of the fight, and said, "Alright then, both of you stop. You're both strong and you're fast. That's good, but don't show off all your abilities to everyone in front of you." So yeah. So with this, we go on, and you see Naruto, who ends up doing the written test first, and he's with Hinata. Naruto isn't really, like, he's dumb, but not too he's dumb, but not too dumb. So, yeah. But it will tell Sasuke and Sakura are cheating, or not Sakura, but it will tell Sasuke is cheating, and Sasuke is struggling that much to, cheat. Plus, Naruto actually does consider Sasuke a rival in everything besides intelligence, because Naruto actually doesn't care too much about that at all, really. So when Hinata actually offers to help Naruto copy her, he actually does copy it. And the thing is, when it's left to battle strategies, or relating to battle, Naruto literally outmatches everyone in the room, unless it's like Shikamaru or Neji. Like, those are the people that he can't outmatch with battle. The bit of training from Zabuza and Haku, because they live near Naruto, that's the condition they have. He trained a bit and everything, plus training with Kakashi for 2 weeks to learn ninjutsu and how to use it effectively. Battle is the one thing that Naruto is actually decently intelligent in, and actually surpassing most Chunin with it. And she helps out Hinata to the point where they both have pretty average scores. Or at least not average, but they're pretty good for actually being able to kind of cheat, but not cheat at the same time. They kind of treated it like a group project, how they were, but they weren't being caught. Naruto had basically written down the paper, but Hinata's basically able to tell the way that Naruto writes. He's trying to get her attention. So she basically glanced over using her Byakugan and is able to basically write down everything she needs to. So it worked like that. And then Naruto is able to send out her body outline like a Byakugan even better. So they didn't even need to look at each other to point out everything. She knows this, and he knows it as well. So yeah, now with this, they eventually turn in the paper with around like five minutes left. So with that, Naruto and Hinata actually kind of began chatting for a bit, and actually would spark their brief friendship. So yeah. So he turns in his paper. They're brought to the force of death. And Naruto actually has a brief friendship with Rock Lee, and now a brief friendship with Hinata. So Naruto actually said he wanted to help these teams, but doesn't know they each have members that are too prideful to accept the help. So yeah. Well, Naruto actually suggests to Hinata that they team up. The thing is, Shino actually deems it pretty useful for them to team up. So Shino says, sure. Hinata says yes. Kiba says no. But the thing is, Sakura actually deemed that they should team up, because she doesn't know that Naruto trained Kakashi for 2 weeks. Only Kakashi. Sasuke had no interest in it, and she had no interest in doing anything that was Sasuke related. Her trusting Sensei in power, and Naruto also living near Zabuza. So these things combined, Sakura does know that in terms of battle, Naruto is their best chance at going through the forest. And this actually shocked Sasuke that Sakura didn't agree with him, and actually asked her why she said yeah. And she actually talks about Sasuke about the training that Naruto's been doing the whole time. He learned water shots from Kakashi, Zabuza, Haku. Learned strategies from all three. In terms of battle, no one here should be able to outmatch him besides Shikamaru and Neji maybe. Just like those two will be the only ones that beat him in battle. In battle strategies. Sasuke does foresee reason in this, and when Shino even hears like, alright then, cool. Now we're definitely going to help you. Naruto said that him and Hinata will be on guard, or for Century Ninjutsu. Sakura and Shino should be Sakura and Sasuke should be there more kind of like just together protection. And then Shino and Kiba should be there outside protection. So, yeah. Now this we move on, and you see Naruto, who ends up going on to fight against, he still does use the bathroom, and has to fight against these two, pause. So he has to fight off against like the three on the Hidden Mist team, or the Hidden Rain team. Pretty sure it's Hidden Rain. And Naruto actually wants to fight them not like retreat or wait for help. He wants to fight them to the fact that Zabuza doesn't know the hidden rain are not good people. So when actually does actually say he'll fight them on behalf of Master Zabuza, they're like, oh, he's here. He must be deadly. And Naruto reached into his pouch, pulling out an extraordinarily large kunai. So that he actually dashed right towards these guys, and it's a technique that basically Zabuza had taught Naruto. Not technique, but more or less something that Zabuza gave Naruto, because Naruto isn't fond of swords, but instead he's more or less pretty fond of what is it? He's better with kunai than swords. Zabuza basically told Naruto to use a large kunai, and you can still use like a sword, not sword, but like Kakashi, and as a kunai. And so Naruto fights with that. And with that, he's able to actually, eliminate these three shinobi. Because she does sense that they're bad people, plus they're from the Hidden Mist. So he killed them. He killed them both. Well, the trio, he killed them all. But Naruto put the kunai away, and walked to his team and ask why did going pissed take him like 10-15 minutes. He said he was attacked. Now with that, they're like, what, you were attacked? Naruto said, yeah, and he throws team out the scroll, saying, you're the ones that need that scroll, not us, so here's your scroll. That they thank Naruto, and Naruto says if they want to, they can leave. And now Kiba's somewhat honorable and doesn't know he owes Naruto now. Says, well, now we owe you, and we'll pay that debt by sticking with you the whole time. Me and Akamaru sense a dangerous presence ahead, so we're going to stay with you till that presence is gone. Naruto had just smiled, and yeah. So with this, they had to fight Orochimaru. Now Shino and Naruto are actually ones that are unaffected by the bloodlust that Orochimaru is giving off. Zabuza gave that off constantly, even showed Naruto the demon thing. And that scared the absolute hell out of Naruto. Like Naruto was terrified of it. So yeah, so Zabuza showed it off. Well, how do I say it? When Zabuza showed it off, Naruto was able to somewhat mimic it, but only using the Nine Tails. So, when Zabuza began attacking Naruto, when Naruto began attacking Naruto, well, he shut off his own bloodlust, not attacking Naruto, but using his own bloodlust against Naruto. Naruto had to use his own bloodlust, and it pushed back all bloodlust that was on his team, actually making them able to get up. Orochimaru laughed, saying, "You're that far along with the Nine Tails, aren't you? You're an impressive kid. I'll have to get rid of you first." And suddenly a snake would charge right at Naruto, but Naruto basically sent a whole chain right through its body, killing it on impact. Then the chain worked around the trees, and around one of Orochimaru's legs. Then Orochimaru realized his chakra was being drained away, and he had cut off his own leg to escape. When his leg's cut off, he regurgitates himself, and his chakra is still really low now. Naruto had absorbed it at an insane speed. But as Orochimaru came out of his body, he had thrown most of the close attacks at Naruto. He's able to dodge them all, and, well, not dodge, but he had clones take the brunt of the explosion for his team because they're still kind of shook. It's mainly him and Chino fighting, just him and Chino. But eventually the clones are the ones that survived are able to shake the team out of it, and the team began fighting Orochimaru as a group. And with that, Orochimaru essentially was, Naruto should just tell Team Kiba to escape. They need at least one person from this whole group to get out alive, and it'd be one whole team. And with the power, they're the strongest, so they should stay. Team Kiba is the weak, or not Team Kiba, but Team Kurna is the weakest, so they should escape. That he makes thousands of clones, and he uses his limit, being in the tens of thousands of clones. He makes all these clones, the force is lit up red, and Orochimaru is told to deal with this. It wouldn't be Naruto's limit. I'd just say that's around probably 10,000 exactly. Orochimaru's kind of nervous, saying, "Oh, this will be troublesome." But suddenly, dozens of water bullets are fired across Orochimaru's body, delivering multiple cuts, and as his body is being cut up, he's hit by a giant fireball. Then Sakura, the moment she had seen the flames disappear, multiple explosive kunai hit Orochimaru in the leg, and before he can pull the tags off, they blow up on his leg, blowing up the majority of his body. They Orochimaru on the ground, covered in blood, burns, and scratches, and Orochimaru's barely even hanging on to life. The only way he lives is because a white snake had basically slithered out of his mouth and escaped. Naruto had noticed it, but didn't think it was anything important, and I thought that Orochimaru kind of had it from ninjutsu. Didn't know that it would regurgitate him. So, yeah. So with this, we just see Naruto, who just ends up leaving and telling his team good job. They smile and they go through force again, and we see Team Shino fighting Kabuto right now. Kabuto's seen the fight between them and Orochimaru. Kabuto's fighting them, and so is Tsurugi and Yoroi. Before Yoroi and Tsurugi can get to overrolling it towards the 3, Naruto basically just jumped and wrapped his arms around the neck of Tsurugi, not draining his chakra, but choking him out. And with that, we see Yoroi being attacked by Sasuke and defeated. So yeah. Now this they get back to, well, the tower with Team Kiba, and they live. Kabuto mainly ran away, and Naruto give him an ultimatum like, you can either die by my hands, or you can take your friends and leave. And Kabuto took his friends and left. After that, they get in the tower, they survive, and it took them around a total of 5 hours to get through the forest. Leaving them 5 days to train. Naruto pointed out 5 days, and, yeah. When 5 days are pointed out, well, Naruto asked Kiba, not asked, but told Kiba they should train together. Well, she actually offered them all, like, a joint training session. But then it came down to, just mainly Gaara. Because Gaara's body was, he did know that Gaara wasn't sleeping. At this point, I'd say it's like to the 2-day mark. And pointed out to Kurama that Shukaku's probably keeping the boy awake. Shukaku does hate Naruto for training him constantly. And Kurama said, why should I care about whether my brother restrains that brat? Naruto had said that he'll let go of all of the chains, or release them, if Kurama helps him control Shukaku for Gaara. Kurama then says, well, I'll tell you one thing right now, you cannot control a tailed beast for someone else, but you can suppress it. Naruto said, with my chakra, how long can I suppress Shukaku for? Kurama laughed, saying, probably a lifetime, but if you hold back, I'd say roughly till the final exam. And that's if you're being nice. And Naruto asked how long till the final exam. Kurama said, it should begin at this date, and I'll tell you how much chakra to use to suppress it. Naruto nodded as Naruto had walked in Gaara's room, and Kurama had just been he's only helping the fact that Naruto's offering to set him free, so he'll take that bet. So taking that bet, well, I guess he just takes it. But Naruto's but he goes into Gaara's room with Tamaru and Kankura there, and Gaara is kind of sitting on his bed. Kankura asks what Naruto wants, and that's what Naruto then says. He'll offer something to Gaara that Gaara should not be able to refuse. Gaara asks what this is, and Naruto then says, I offer you 3 days of sleep. This makes Gaara's eyes widen, saying, 3 days only, huh? Naruto said, we only have 3 days before we have to go to the preliminaries. This one Gaara's like, how can you make me sleep? Naruto said, let me speak to the Tsunuki. Naruto knows what animals all the tailed beasts are. When he's bored, he talks to the Ninetales, and Ninetales just wants to get Naruto away from him, so he just tells Naruto randomly, well, all the tailed beasts are, and Chukaku's a Tsunuki, so, yeah. That Naruto said basically put his fist on Gaara's chest, and he went into the mindscape of Shukaku. Not Shukaku, but of Gaara, and met Shukaku with Gaara right next to him. Shukaku asks Naruto why he's here, and does Naruto think he can really help Gaara sleep, because Shukaku will make sure it doesn't happen. Naruto's response will charge him with chakra, and flick Shukaku, making Shukaku explode. Naruto said, that would be more like till the preliminaries end, but I can probably give you enough chakra to be at the level you were before this. Really, Naruto, though, Mindscape and Gaara had yawned, saying, I'm tired. Naruto just said, sleep then. Swiftly, a chop hit the side of Gaara's neck, and Gaara fell asleep. Gaara fell back and snored. Naruto smiled at that, and Naruto walked away. Tomorrow, and Sakura can't help but adore Gaara sleeping, thinking of him as very cute. So with this, we go on and see Naruto, who ends up just go to like the preliminaries. And the fights kind of go the same way, just Sasuke doesn't have a curse mark yet. He fights against Yoroi, won easily again. Kiba, Rock Lee, and basically all the Hidden Leaf teams trained as a group besides Shikamaru, who didn't participate. And Naruto was able to actually somewhat he's able to have Sakura see the fact that Sasuke is not someone who would want her to affect how weak she is. She's very good at very good strategy and going with the flow, but that's about it. She needs to go with her own flow or create her flow. That's basically what I'm trying to say. She needs to create her own flow and not just go with others. What time is it? 10 p.m. That works. So with that, Sakura basically just began abandoning things that she cared for more besides Shinobi life, and when things with her hair was shorter now. So Ino and Sakura began fighting. Ino was busy not training, but taking care of other things that made her weak as a shinobi. Well, Sakura used her new abilities to fight against Ino, including superior speed, and was able to defeat her. Ino asked Sakura why she had won. Ino was like, "You're useless. How'd you win?" Sakura had said that she started caring about her shinobi life more than her love for Sasuke. She still loves him, but currently is only a teammate. So with that, Ino realized that Sakura gained power in exchange for her love for Sasuke. So yeah. And with that, Naruto versus Kiba. Kiba doesn't know this fight's a losing fight because he tried to fight Naruto previously and lost horribly. So yeah, Kiba used fighting at Naruto, trying to go all out from the start. But Naruto, he trains by himself occasionally, which is only Uzumaki training, only Uzumaki jutsu training. Eventually infused his hands and arms with chakra. And with that, his durability increased significantly. Leading Shaku, not Shaku, but leading to Gaara. Not Gaara, leading to Kiba, the A messed me up. Kiba slammed right into Naruto, and Naruto is able to push back all the damage that's being given. The one damage dealt heals over and over again. And Kiba jumps back, looking at Naruto's hand, seeing them completely fine. But his shirt was a bit torn up. Well, that Naruto appeared right in front of Kiba, hitting him in the face and knocking him out. Once Kiba hits the ground, he was unconscious. Naruto had helped Kiba into the stand, putting him in Kurenai's arms. Then Kurenai had laid Kiba down on a mat. And Akamaru was helped up to the mat by Naruto. So we just see Naruto, who ends up going on to basically just fight against, not fight, but just watch fights against Rock Lee and Gaara. Where Gaara fought, Naruto actually infused him with a chakra, so he's able to use the same amount of power as he does in canon. So with that, we just go on to see, I guess, just want to see Rock Lee actually still lose, but Gaara did actually not succumbing to Shikaku. He doesn't actually severely injure Rock Lee, but said his bones are still broken, sure. But he is not killed. Not killed, he did die. His bones are not as broken as severely. You know how you break bones falling from a certain area, height? Rock Lee has those kinds of bones. They'll heal in 6 months or something. So yeah, when Rock Lee told that, no, they'll heal in 6 months, but there's still pretty bad breaks. And Rock Lee's alright, I understand. So Rock Lee's kind of banned from anything above a D rank for 6 months. Occasionally, so it's fighting random bandits, he's able to fight for a bit, but that's about it. So with this, we just see Naruto, who ends up going on to more or less train with Jiraiya for 1 month. But Naruto has such good control over Kuroma's chakra that he's able to summon Gamabunta his first try. When Jiraiya's like, well, Naruto does question Jiraiya on what he should do. Jiraiya's like, how about using Nine-Tails chakra? Not the first try, but like third or like second or third try. So with that, he summons Gamabunta, and I was like, all right, you could have been the one that summoned me because you're an Uzumaki. And Naruto's like, all right, cool. So this, we move on and see Naruto, who trains even more. And when Naruto trained even more, well, the training goes for Sengan. Naruto actually said that he found the Sengan scroll was healing, and that Yuko had covered for Naruto. Naruto was tricked, it was just Iruka made up a lie. It made laugh that Iruka was that nice to Naruto, but does tell Naruto just be careful next time. And Naruto's like, he planned on it, so yeah. So with the water balloon, he passes that step in only like 5 minutes. Because he hasn't been trying to do a Rasengan, but all he ends up doing is like a ball of wind, or a ball of water, one of those two things. But that's about it, not a Rasengan. With the water balloon and how he has to do it, he's able to pop it really fast. Then rubber balls where he spends like a day or two on. Then with that, next thing he does is form a Rasengan. So instead of taking 1 week, it takes Naruto. Well, I'd say probably like, I believe it would take 5 days from what I just said, but I'd cut it short and do 4. So 4 days is what it took Naruto to learn how to do Rasengan, and not need 2 hands. So just use switch chakra into it. That's just a regular Rasengan. So yeah. Next thing is Naruto versus Neji, and Naruto fights Neji, but Neji actually deems Naruto someone too strong to, well, not too strong, but too much chakra to actually shut down all at once. When Neji began fighting Naruto, Naruto's able to basically block a lot of attacks with his own ability and superior, not skill, but superior physical ability. Well, then the only thing that Neji has on Naruto is probably just intelligence and technique. That's really it. And then Neji's like, why can I beat you? And Naruto actually points out the only thing that Neji has on Naruto is technique and intelligence, nothing more. And Naruto would then use a jutsu that he's been holding back on. The jutsu is insanely powerful and cannot be countered by a gentle fist, but cannot be countered by a palm rotation. It's a jutsu that covers a wide range, and if deflected, well, more water just comes, and nothing about it matters. This is not a jutsu that's called Water Cell, Water Bowl. That water actually begins brushing Neji, and Neji does realize that this is going through a palm rotation because it's not really anything that can be rotated around. It's just like one giant rushing current. At best, the current can be just pushed back a bit or just pushed around, but occasionally does get messed up. So, pause. So, well, Neji usually is the palm rotation can't really deflect this jutsu, more or less slightly postpone it for like a few seconds. And so eventually disables it, rushing at Naruto as fast as possible. But the one that Neji had hit Naruto had yelled to Neji that he's able to basically use chakra points like the Hugo do, but better. So this confused Neji for an instant until Neji suddenly hit in the chest, then sent flying back. Suddenly Neji coughed up blood, falling over, and immediately the medics announced Neji dead until he shoots up saying, what happened? But the moment Neji had died, he lost the match. And Naruto said that he shut down all the Neji chakra points, but then restored them the moment that it felt like it. He sent a bit of chakra into his body, but then disabled it. Well, disabled it, then re-abled it. So yeah, then this shocks Neji, but he had a point. He can use them better than Hyugas can. So yeah. Now we move on and go over to the versus Shukaku, but Sasuke doesn't have a curse mark. So I think honestly he probably could have beaten Gaara before he turns into One Tails, which he probably he would have turned into One Tails, but he doesn't in this one. So yeah, so he isn't the One Tails in this one. Sasuke beat him before that. He made sure the fight was short. So this we go on, and see Naruto, who ends up basically watching Sasuke be a half-transformed Gaara. But the moment Gaara's not knocked out, he turns into Shukaku, but a single chain pimp slaps Gaara into the ground. And Naruto and Gaara are already friends who do not helping Gaara sleep. So, yeah. And this Gaara is defeated, and now we have the barrier. Naruto told my guy and Kakashi to go to the barrier. He'll break it. All they have to do is tell Hiruzen to fight off the other two Hokage. That's how Sasuke had arrived. Naruto told Sasuke that him, Hinata, and Neji, and anyone else who's willing to fight will defeat the guys that are at the barrier. So first, what Naruto did is just basically send out a large burst of chakra by clasping his hands together, and then send out just a burst of chakra, pushing back everyone. But then suddenly we see Zabuza and Haku arrive and kill everyone around that's enemies really quickly. And Naruto said, "Thank God you guys are here." So Naruto jumped on the roof, sending out chakra, two chains, slamming into each side of the barrier. Not two, actually. It's a cube, so front, top, side, front, top, side, top, side. 3. Naruto at this point only has 4 chains, so actually he takes a bit of more power. And Sasuke then says that Naruto's chain should weaken the barrier enough, so he'll use one Chidori on it. So Naruto and Sasuke are able to destroy the barrier. Then there's 4 shinobi that are gonna wreck the barrier again. But Naruto actually yelled at Hinata and Neji. Well, not Hinata, just Neji. Well, actually, Neji and Rock Lee, because Rock Lee can fight. It's just, he can't fight too hard, or else he'll just hurt his injuries will be too bad. So with this, we actually just see Rock Lee jumps on the roof, going up to his 4th gate, kicking Jirobo right in the chest, well, not killing him, but knocking him out and breaking all his ribs. We see Neji, who takes a note from Naruto, taking all the chakra points near the heart, and actually kills Tayuya. Then that leaves Kidomaru, who fights Naruto. But Naruto had defeated Kidomaru with no effort. The next person would be Sakon Ukon, who's killed by Sasuke with one last Chidori. And then with this we go on, and you see Naruto, who ends up going up against he goes up against fucking my guy, Kakashi, Zabuza, Haku, and Hiruzen versus Orochimaru, Hashirama, and Tobirama. So yeah. Now this, they fight against, as a group, they fight against, everyone, so to say. Not everyone, just the other guys that I named. As they fight, well, they don't win, they're not close to it, but my guy is pushing 7th gate, almost, basically just pushing back Hashirama. Actually, I don't think 7th gate would be it, but I'd say 6th gate. And it was able to, quote-unquote, defeat Hashirama despite him being super weak. And Hiruzen doesn't know that Minato cannot be revived, so he focuses on postponing Minato. But Kakashi joins in, knowing how to postpone this as well, and him and Hiruzen combined are able to push back the reanimation of Minato. And that Kakashi would then use a jutsu that he hasn't used for a long time, Mind's Eye of Kagura. Uses this and is able to pinpoint a weakness of Tobirama mentally, and says that once that weakness is exposed or that worry, he'll disappear. This worry is something too big, but wants to know the students are safe and alive. And Hiruzen points out that they're alive, it's just Danzo is doing too good. And with that, is able to weaken Tobirama's spirit significantly, which actually does make him ascend just through strong emotion. So yeah, Hiruzen, throughout the fight, was able to realize that Danzo is not shit. He's fighting against 2 Hokage and Orochimaru, and Danzo's nowhere nearby helping. It's literally just random Jonin, 2 kids, and some random kid that can use ice release and some hidden mistrader. That's about it. So yeah, random Anbu, random Jonin, 2 traders, and 2 children. So yeah, that's really it. So this Orochimaru is defeated by Hiruzen without the Reaper Death Seal, and we go on to see everything end, so to say. And we go on to the next arc, being Tsunade retrieval. Hiruzen passes down his title of Hokage, and she says that he will be an elder of Konoha now. He announced that he's going to be an elder, And Danzo's like, why? So who's gonna be the next Hokage? Me? Usually she says that Danzo should not be Hokage. This is like a council meeting, like clan head city council meeting between Hiruzen and everyone else. He says that Danzo is the farthest person from Hokage. He'd actually prefer Naruto over Hiruzen. Not Hiruzen, Naruto over Danzo at this point. Danzo asks why Hiruzen would say that, and that's when Hiruzen points out that Danzo was nowhere near helping him with Orochimaru. Danzo's like, well, there's a barrier up. Hiruzen's like, no, the barrier is broken after 5 minutes. You still doesn't help. He's like, the people that helped me were Naruto, Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, Kakashi Hatsuki, my Maito guy, then Zabuza Momoshi, and Haku. Those are the guys that helped me. Not you, not anyone in this room, just, well, those people I named. So speaking of those people I named, well, Naruto should become a clan head soon, and so should Sasuke. But, yeah. And then with this, we move on, and to go over to Danzo actually being shamed. The point where some of this is just pulled away from the hidden leaf. So some of this pulled away from the hidden leaf. To the point where Root is disbanded because he has no pull. Like, not everyone leaves, because that's kind of what's causing disbandment, but most people leave. And that includes Yamato, who brought along Sai, because he did think that the Kakashi would like Sai. Out of this, we go on to see Naruto, who ends up going on to, well, fight against, Tsunade thing, when Tsunade wants to make a bet against Naruto, like, sure. So, Naruto had fought Tsunade, and was able to make her Rasengan who defeated Tsunade. It was that strong. So he defeats Tsunade with one Rasengan, and then with that, we get to see, so Tsunade is defeated, we get to see Naruto who's like, Konoha with Tsunade, and Naruto pointed out Hinata and, Tsunade, Ino, Tenten, and Sakura to Tsunade. So Tsunade asked why he brought them up, and Naruto said Sakura is someone who wants to abandon love and get stronger, so she can be strong for the one she loves. Tsunade admires that. Then Naruto points out Hinata who wants to be worthy of being admired to be someone worthy of her clan's respect. Ino is kind of like Sakura, but she hasn't realized it yet, and she wants Tsunade to beat the Sakura into Ino. And then Tenten is someone who always admired Tsunade. Tsunade then says that Tenten and Ino would be the problems, but Hinata and Sakura would be good, so she'll try them. Then we go on to see Naruto, who just ends up, well, Konoha with them. Sakura and Hinata are trained immediately. Well, first they're taught how to heal, but they have such good chakra control, it's no effort to heal. But then Ino, she's more or less going to train with her clan more, because her clan jutsu is very, 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 very mediocre. Very horrible at that, actually. Not mediocre, horrible. Then Tenten actually specializes in weapons, so the best she can learn is healing. So, yeah. But instead she's taught how to make poison. Tsunade will teach her that easily. But instead she should train with the Nara doctors. That would work better for her. She should learn poisons, but also be able to make sure she gets medicine, because they're the ones that are most accident prone, being Might Guy and Rock Lee. So yeah. Tenten gets that advice and actually becomes friends with Shikamaru, and then, yeah. Well, not friends, but hangs out with him a bit, so, yeah. So we go on to see Naruto, who ends up going on to, well, first off, I guess Sasuke and Uchiha will go the same way. It's just, when Naruto fights Kimimaro, no, it wouldn't go the same. First off, well, Kidomaru would be dead. Tayuya would be dead. Jirobo is basically out of a fight, so actually no, he's not out of a fight. It'd more like be the sound 2, because Sekon and Ukon are dead. Then so Sekon, Ukon, Tayuya, and Kidomaru are all dead. So this is sound 1 being Jirobo. Well, Sekon and Ukon, Tayuya, basically everyone's dead besides Kidomaru, I believe. That's about it. Kidomaru, I'm pretty sure it's just Jirobo who's alive, just Jirobo. This fight consists of Kabuto, well not Kabuto, but Yoroi and Tsurugi kind of fill the void, and then we have Karin who joins in. So the fights happen. It's just Naruto had fought, like, he saw Karin was an Uzumaki and pointed out he's an Uzumaki as well. So he fought Karin. Well, they can use all the same abilities. It's just that he didn't know yet. No, she able to heal people with a bite, and Naruto had heard about the ability, just he's never had to use it yet. He doesn't know that he's had to do it. So Naruto immediately actually sent out a clone to basically defeat Karin. Naruto headed back to his team, actually not team, but to his his team, and they all bite him being healed. Even Choji. Neji more or less had to fight a curse mark infused Yoroi who drained his chakra a lot faster. So Neji's more or less on the ground, like just dying of chakra exhaustion. Then he bit Naruto and healed. Choji still fought Jirobo, who's a bit stronger, and Choji's immediately healed himself. Then Naruto had used his superior speed to dash ahead, only took on Kimimaru versus Rock Lee. Tsunade had healed Rock Lee. But Rock Lee, when he fights against Kimimaru, all Rock Lee's been really doing is training. He didn't, well, besides like taking a bit of medicine, that's it, mainly just training. So when he fights Kimimaru, he's able to defeat him without Drunken Fist. So yeah, Rock Lee wins. Then it's now left up to Naruto and Gaara versus Sasuke. And Naruto's about to say no to Rock Lee, says, not Rock Lee, but Gaara said he lost Sasuke once. He wants to beat Sasuke of his own accord and of his own will. Naruto hits him out saying, alright then, let's go. With that, him and Gaara rush forward as fast as possible to get to the end where they see Sasuke. So Naruto actually goes on to Taijutsu. Gaara's more or less on the distant attack thing. So yeah, if it comes down to ninjutsu, it's Gaara who blocks it and then attacks. Comes down to regular hand to hand. It's Naruto. So with this we go on into Naruto, who end up more or less like how do I say it? I don't know how to phrase it. But regardless, we just go on to see everyone. I guess everyone wins their fight. It's just Naruto who defeats Sasuke in this one. One reason that Sasuke is still taken by Orochimaru is because Orochimaru intervened in the fight. Orochimaru and Kabuto. Kabuto had basically gotten on Naruto by hitting him in the chest with his like tendon severing ability, and not tendon, but kind of like nerves and just body severing ability, and it made Naruto pass out. With Rock Lee, he fought not Rock Lee, but Gaara, he fought Orochimaru and lost. So yeah, Sasuke's taken away, and yeah. With this we go on, and you see 2 years time skip happen. But before we get into that, I'm in this what if, or this part at least. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe, comment from the other part.